Hey there, future fellow weirdo, weird ass black sheep. How are you? Do not weary, you weary traveler from bizarre world. You're definitely in the right place, not the Twilight Zone. Then you just so happen to hit the fork in the road.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Took the ride, ding, ding, and rolled right into the most expensive church this side of the universe, the Party Pig. We clap for you. Welcome to my humble abode. This is such a great place. And what we do here is we read this great ass book. It's called God Said, because God did not fucking say that. We're going to find out what he did say. So come this way. We're on 2 Samuel, chapter 13. And where we left off, David saw Bathsheba naked and she got pregnant. So David killed her husband instead of admitting that he's a cheater and breaks every one of God's commandments ever. But don't worry, God gets him back. God said, I got you. So David's family is forever going to be in a fight. And Bathsheba's first baby died. And then she had a son, and his name is Solomon. And God loves him, it says. So that's where we left off and where we are picking up. So if the rest of this story sounds amazing to you, come on this way. I have the 6 C's for whatever time it is where you are. I have cannabis, cigarettes, coffee, chair with your name on it, cat beds, and canine space. So come this way. It's a good time. Walk this way. Have a good time. Walk this way. Have a good time. Yeah, it's good. So, chat in the chat. I'd love to interact with you. Press like and subscribe on your way in. Leave your shoes on. You know, you don't want to be walking around here in bare feet. There's, cat hair and stuff. Oh, and also dirt, because I'm not very good at vacuuming. As a matter of fact, that's my least favorite thing to do. So keep your shoes on, or you'll have dirty feet. So we're on chapter 13. So, hi everyone, welcome. Please chat in the chat. There will be moderators here eventually who will chat in the chat with you also. So do not be scared of the chat. It is a great place. And I can interact with you and answer your questions because I am a sage. Yeah, I am the most amazing saint of awesome. Your super stone sage, Saint Nikki K. the Great, and I am wonderful. Standing ovations only, please. So please come on and join me. It'll be a good time. So now it was after this. So after Bathsheba had Solomon and David got back from fighting and all that shit, that Absalom, the son of David, had a beautiful sister's name, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. This is so gross. And Amnon was so frustrated because of Tamar that he made himself ill, for she was a virgin, and it seemed hard to Absalom to do anything to her. Oh, I bet it was so fucking hard. Oh my God. Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, David's brother. So this is Uncle Face right here. And Jonadab was a very shrewd man. And he said, "What the fuck's up, dude? What is going on?" And then Amnon said, "I am in love with my sister. What am I going to do?" And then Jonadab said, "Well, pretend you're sick and ask your father if she can take care of you because you're so sick. And then do forcible sexy time to her. She is a woman after all. My arm hurts so bad. Anyway, she's a woman. You can do whatever you want. Tell him you want a couple cakes and she's got to make them so I can see them." Then David sent to the house of Tamar and said, "Go do this. You know, this is what he wants. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyway, go do this." So Tamar went to her brother and he was lying down, and she took dough, kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight and baked the cakes. And she took the pan and dished them out before him, but he did not eat them. He said, "Have everyone go out from me." So everyone went out. And Amnon said to Tamar, "Okay, I want food in my bedroom that I need you to feed me." So she was like, "Okay, okay." So she did. When she brought them to eat, he took hold of her and forcible sexy timed her, even though she said no a whole lot. You know, then Amnon hated her with a very great hatred, for the hatred with which he had was greater than the love which he had. And Amnon said, "GTFO, yo. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you on either side. You need to leave." So she left off freaking out like I was just raped and then, you know, Whatever, some shit just happened. Okay. Uh, okay. Then he called his young man and said, "Now throw this woman out of my house and lock the door behind her." It's weird. Okay. Now, she had on a long sleeved garment, for in this manner the virgin daughters of the kings dressed themselves in robes. Then his attendant took her out and locked the door. And Tamar put ashes on her head and tore her long sleeved garment, which was on her. And she put her hand on her head and went away crying as she went. This poor girl. This poor girl. Okay. Then Absalom saw and said, "Was this fucking Amnon? Look, look. Go handle your business like regular. I'll handle this. Go to my house." So on her way, she went. Now, when the king heard of all this, he was very angry. Absalom didn't speak to Absalom, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because, this shit is out of control. Now, it came after 2 full years. Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal Hazor, which is near Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, he hasn't done anything for his sister in like 2 years. She must be like, "Oh, this motherfucker." Okay. And Absalom came to the king and said, "Hey, look, I want to go have a party over here. Let the kings go." And huh. And David was like, "No, no, no. No. All of them? No." And Absalom said, "Can Amnon go?" And the king said, "Why?" And Absalom was like, "Come on, please. I need to do this. And we're going to let bygones be bygones. What can I do? It's already over. So let me go with you. Or let him go with me. Totally let him go with me." And Absalom commanded his servants, saying, "See now, when Amnon is super happy, kill him. And listen, you won't get held accountable. It's all for me. Don't worry about it. Just do what I said." Okay. So, and the servants of Absalom said, or did to Amnon just as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, each mounted his mule and fled. That's crazy. Now, it was while they were on the way that the report came to David, saying, "Absalom done killed everybody. Look, all your sons are deleted from God's YouTube because this guy is an asshole and he killed everybody. Then the king rose, got naked, and laid on the ground. But his brother was like, no, I'm willing to bet it was only Amnon. I'm willing to bet he only killed Amnon. And because he had to repay for, you know, what Amnon did to Tamar. Out of control. So don't be worried. Now, Absalom fled, and the young man who was the watchman, his eyes looked, and behold, many people coming from the road beside the mountain. And Jonadab said to the king, I told you. And it came about as soon as he had finished speaking that the king's sons came in. Now, Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Amlul, king of Geshur, and David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years. And the heart of King David longed to go to Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, since he was dead. Dun, dun, dun. Now, we're about to go to chapter 14. Does anybody have anything to say? What do you think about that story so far? Was Absalom right or not? I mean, you can talk to me because I want to smoke this cigarette. We're in between chapters. So, I think when I first read this, I was under the impression that Absalom killed all the king's sons, but okay, that's okay, Neil. Thank you for letting me know. But anyway, the first time I read this, I thought Absalom killed all of them. But it makes sense it was only Amnon because of the shit with Tamar, but at least he holds his sister, at least he cared about her honor. Because now she can never have a husband, even if she was forcibly sexy timed. She can't even get a husband now. So, here we go. Now, Joab perceived the king's heart was inclined toward Absalom. So Joab sent to Tekoa and brought a wise woman, okay, an actress. And he told her, pretend one of your sons is dead, and then your other son is the only one left, but somebody's coming to take your house. Yeah. Say because the other brother was a bad guy and he's dead, so now he's going to take his other brother. Something like that. Make sure you tell that to the king. So she goes and tells the king a story kind of like this. And the king was like, go to your house and I will give orders concerning you. And the woman said, listen, King Face, The iniquity is on me and my father's house, but the king and the throne are guiltless. And the king said, whoever speaks to you, bring him to me, and he will not touch you anymore. And then she said, please let the king remember the Lord your God, so that the avenger of blood may not continue to destroy, lest they destroy my son. And he said, as the Lord lives, not one hair of your son shall hit the ground. Then the woman said, let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? And King D is like, okay, okay. And she said, why then have you planned such a thing for the people of God? For in speaking this word, the king as one who is guilty, and that the king does not bring back his banished one. We shall all surely die, and are like water spilled on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. Does the yet God does not take away life, but plans ways so that the banished one may not be cast out from him. Right. The weirdos are not going away from God at all. That's exactly what that said in the Old Testament. It's not just the New Testament that says weirdos count. It's also the Old Testament. Hi, Ray. What day is it? Friday? Are you coming over tomorrow? Can you buy me a lottery ticket? And Dustin said no. I thought he was in bed. Okay. But anyways, even the Old Testament says God will not turn away the banished one. The weirdos fucking count. Now, the reason I have come to speak is because the people have made me afraid. So your maidservant said, let me go speak to the king. Perhaps the king will perform the request of his maidservant. For the king will hear and deliver from the hand of the man who would destroy me and my son. Then your maidservant said, oh my God, why do we gotta say this again? Okay. Anyway, the king said, did Joab do this? And she was like, yeah. Yeah, yeah, as your soul lives, king. No one can turn to the right nor the left from anything that the Lord King has spoken. Indeed, it was Joab who paid me to do this, in order to change the appearance of the things. Your servant Joab has done this thing. But my Lord is wise, like the wisdom of an angel, to know all that is good. Then the king said, look, okay, go get Absalom, okay, but I don't want to see him. Now, in all the land, there was no one as beautiful as Absalom, so highly praised from the sole of his foot to the crown of his long hair. There was no defect in him because his daddy was a sexy mofo. Anyway, we don't know that. Yes, we do. And when he cut the hair of his head, and it was at the end of every year that he cut it, for it was so heavy on him. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels. And to Absalom there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar. And she was a beautiful woman. So Absalom too lived 2 full years in Jerusalem and did not see the king's face. Dun, dun, dun. Then Absalom sent for Joab to send him to the king, but he would not come to me or him. So he sent again a second time, but he would not come. Therefore, he said, "You see Joab's field over there? Go set it on fire." Yeah, listen, don't worry about it. They won't even know it was you. They'll blame me. It'll be fine. Go set it on fire. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom and said, "The fuck did you do? Like, the fuck, yo. For real. What is this?" And Absalom was like, "But I want to see my dad." Hey, CNA. I mean, Drunken Wizard. Anyway, we're about to change chapters. Go to chapter 15. Let me finish this out real quick, and then we can smoke a cigarette. Okay. And Absalom was like, "I wanted to see my dad." And you kept telling me no. Look, why did I even come here? I could still be there. Now, let me see my dad. So when Joab came to the king, he called for Absalom. He came to the king and did the face thing before the king, and the king kissed Absalom. Dun, dun, dun. That was the end of chapter 14. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You've missed a lot of it, Drunken Wizard. Yeah, well, I'm going on to chapter 15. But I wanted to smoke a cigarette real quick and chat and see what everybody thinks about what's going on. But nobody's been here long enough to know what's going on. I'm going to start going live at 10:30. I'm going to start taking my pills at 10 and going live at 10:30. Seems like most everybody shows up at like 10:15, 10:30. Anyway, I want to roll a cigarette real quick and see what's everybody drinking and smoking on. How about we go there real quick? What's everybody drinking and smoking? Hi, feel free to chat in the chat. Tell me what you're drinking and smoking, where you're coming in from, what time it is where you are. Mostly whatever you're drinking. And say hi in the chat. Say hi to people. Do not be intimidated by the chat. Make sure you press like and subscribe. Yeah, let's take a smoke break. Is anybody smoking any ganja? Because I am not smoking ganja. I'm out of weed until the 4th of July. I had therapy today, and it was a really good session. And I got a lot of my house clean. I never get my house clean. Kool-Aid and smoking cigarettes. Man, I don't think I've had Kool-Aid in the longest fucking time. Maybe I need to start getting Kool-Aid. Bourbon. Ooh. I've had that um Blue Dreams, is that what it's called? Blue Dreams. I think I had that before. Can I just not get the cigarette shit right now? Okay. All right. So let's go on to chapter 15. Okay. Okay. Now it came about after this that Absalom provided for himself chariot and horses and 50 men, 50 runners before him. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Okay. And 50 runners before him. And Absalom used to rise early and stand beside. Did anybody else hear that? I'm afraid to open my blinds. I'm not going to open my blinds. Whoever is watching me, okay. Stop knocking on my window, whoever's watching me. Quit it. Oh, that fucking freaked me out. I don't want to open my window. I don't want to open my blinds. My back door is open. They can just come my back door. Don't need to scare me. Okay. So it happened that when any man had a suit to come to the king for judgment, Absalom would call him and say, "From what city are you?" And he would say, "I'm from one of the tribes." I don't want to investigate. No way. Dude, I'm going to open my window and there's going to be a Freddy Krueger motherfucker right there. And I will literally die. Like, I don't want to do it. Nope. Well, I guess good thing I look good. So if I do die, I'll die pretty looking. Okay. Now, it came about at the end of 40 years that Absalom said to the king, let me go and pay my vow, which I vowed to God when I was in the other place. That said, if you let me go to this place, if you let me go back home, then I'll come and pay my vow to you and blah, blah, crap. And David was like, okay, go ahead. Just, be good or good at it, knock 'em dead, kid. So Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes, saying, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then you say, Absalom is king in Hebron because reasons. Then 200 men went with Absalom from Jerusalem who were invited and went innocently. They did not know a thing. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Oh, didn't know. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, David's counselor, while he was offering sacrifices, and the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. Then a messenger came to David saying, "Look, something's going on with Absalom." And David said to all his servants who were with him at Jerusalem, "Okay, we need to go. We need to run scared because reasons. I'm not exactly sure. I can't squash my own son. So, I could, but I don't want to. Instead, I want to flee. I miss living in caves. I haven't lived in a cave since I was like 35. God's right about this whole couch surfing thing. It's actually pretty fun. You know, God's right. I need to go live in a cave. Leave me out of here. I'm going. I can't. I can't with David right now. And um then the king's servant said, "We'll go with you anywhere." Yeah. Uh what is that? What There's a song. "I'll follow you down." Something like that. Yeah. Running away, chasing butterflies. Something. Anyway. Anyway, they're running away with David. They say, "We'll go anywhere with you." Okay. So the king went out and all his household with him. But the king left 10 concubines to keep the house. Now all his servants passed beside him. All the Kirithites, all the Pelethites, the Hittites, 600 men who had come with him to Gath, passed before the king. Then the king said to Ittai the Gittite, "Why are you going?" This guy. Oh, okay. Where am I at? This guy says the most romantic shit in the whole entire world. Listen to what he says to King D and tell me if you would say this to your significant other or not, because this is the most romantic shit ever. Wait, he said, hold on, wait, said to Ittai, "Go and pass over." Okay. And Ittai answered the king and said, "As the Lord lives, as my Lord King lives, surely wherever you go, whether it's death or life, there I will also be." So fucking romantic. Yeah, that deserves a French kiss. I know David doesn't French kiss this man because he's not Jonathan, but this is the most romantic shit ever. I would French kiss this guy, even if he smelled bad. I don't even care. That is such a romantic thing to say. I wish Dustin would say that to me. But he'll say, "When you die, I'll go right after sometime. After I trade you in for a newer model." Yeah, something. Uh, okay. Therefore, David said, "Go ahead." So all of them passed over. While the country was weeping with a loud voice, all the people passed over. The king also passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed toward the way of the wilderness. Now, behold, Zadok and the Levites came with him, carrying the ark, God's suitcase chair. And they set down the suitcase chair, and Abathar came up until all the people had finished passing from the city. And the king said, "Listen, I know I know you've walked this far. I get it. I get it. But you guys need to walk back. You need to take it back, because if God wants me to see his suitcase chair and his house in my backyard, if he wants me to see it again, he'll bring me back. It'll be a good time. Don't worry." Oh my God. Okay. And the king said, yeah, if, okay, then he'll bring me back. And then the king said to Zadok, "Are you not a seer?" A prophet. No, he's not. Oh, the king said to Zadok, "Aren't you also a prophet? Return to the city, you and your sons with you. See, I am going to wait at the fords of the wilderness until word comes that you may inform me." Therefore, Zadok and Abiathar returned the ark of God, and it remained there. And David went up the ascent of the Mount Olives and wept as he went, and his head was covered, and he walked barefoot. That's why you need to keep your shoes on, because shit like this could happen, and then you don't have no shoes on, and then your feet get hurt. That's why you got to keep your shoes on. Then all the people who were with him, each covered his head and went weeping as they went. Now someone told David, saying, "Ahithophel is over there." And David said, "You know what to do, big guy. Are you? Are you gonna make him talk gibberish and stuff?" That'd be so funny. Okay. And it happened as David was coming to the summit where God was worshipped. Behold, Hushai the Archite met with him with his coat torn and dust on his head. And David said, "If you pass over with me, then you will be a burden. But if you return and say to Absalom, I'll be your servant. I was servant to your dad and your other dad. My service is the kingdom. I'm here to handle the kingdom. And then you can thwart the counsel of Ahithophel." And Zadok and Abiathar are there also. So it shall be, whatever you hear from the king, report to Zadok and Abiathar, and their two sons will bring me the news. And Hushai, David's friend, came to the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. Dun, dun, dun. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about David running away for no damn reason? He just gets one little word that Absalom got some dudes, and then, oh, Neil, did you see Ray was here also in the chat? Well, at least I thought he was here. He might not be here anymore. Nothing. No. My interpretations are somewhat accurate. Well, they're mostly accurate. I might get some words wrong sometimes. But you get it. Damn. Oh, what do you guys think of my new hat? This is going to be my new hat for when there's an action figure made of me. It's going to be this hat. I'm going to wear this hat no matter what outfit. I don't know. Ray, are you still here? Damn it. I they have more roaches in here. Damn. Yeah, it's an awesome hat, ain't it? As I saw this and I was like, nobody else is wearing a hat like that. So I got my Devon Dudley glasses. I don't exactly remember where I sat those, but they're the big white glasses and this hat. And I thought, yeah, that's a great fucking action figure outfit. Yeah, there's my kisses for y'all. Perfect, right? There it is. It is very Nicky. I just need to put my signature right in the middle of it because it's just real easy. It's literally 2 letters. It works. Man, there's flies in here. Okay. So, do you guys want to go on to chapter 16? 17's kind of long, but 16's not that long. Okay. Let's hit this one more time and be ready to go. That was way harder than it needed to be. The Lord is telling me to stop coughing in the microphone. Okay. So we're going on to chapter 16. Wait. Wait. Are you ready?
"16 chapters of this lovely book." I know what it says. So you come too. It's 16 chapters. Yeah. What do you think? It's a good song. Good song.
It's a good song. Did you like it? Yeah. I remembered. I remembered. Oh, I remembered. Now, when David had passed a little beyond the summit, behold, Ziba, Mephi's servant, met him with a couple of saddled donkeys, and on them were 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisins, 100 summer fruits, and a jug of wine. Yeah. And the king said, "Why do you have these?" And Ziba said, "It's for you." "What do you mean, why do I have this?" "I have this for the hell of it. You know, I just decided, I'll saddle up these donkeys and I'll take them to the king, but that motherfucker can't have any." "Do you think I'm stupid?" "No, this stuff is for you." Okay. And then the king's like, "Where's Mephi?" And then Ziba said, "Well," he said, "since you were gone, that he's king or something. I don't know." He said something, and I was like, "I don't have time for this." So I just left him there because he's a petulant child. Do what you want to me, but I'm not fucking dealing with it. Okay? And the king said, "Whatever." And then the king said, "Well, all that belongs to Mephi is yours, I guess." And Ziba said, "I'm doing the face thing. Let me find favor in your sight." Then the king came to Bahurim, and behold, there came out a man from the family of Saul. His name was Shimei. And he came out cursing continually. And he threw stones at David and all the servants' kings and all the people and all the mighty men that were to his right and left. And then Shimei said, "Get out! Get out! You suck! You killed Saul and stuff. Yeah, everything's your fault. Yeah, whatever's happening, I don't even know. But I'm sure it's your fault. You suck." And then just kept throwing rocks at him like, "You suck. Get out of here, fat guy." You know, that kind of thing. "You had one sandwich, you don't need two. Go away." Ugh. Right. Thus, Shimeon, when he had cursed, oh, yeah, I already read this. "The Lord has returned upon you all the bloodshed of Saul, whose place you have reigned. Now the Lord has given to you, given to your son this kingdom. And behold, you are taken in your own evil, for you are a man of bloodshed." Then Abishai said, Look, you want me to take care of it? I'll take care of it. And then David said, I already told you and your brother, I don't want no part of y'all. Whatever y'all are doing, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Y'all done killed the one dude and you didn't need to, but you did, so you guys suck. Don't talk to me. I don't want you to do anything for me. Perhaps the Lord will look on my affliction and return good to me instead of his cussing. So David and his men went on the way, and Shimei went along with him, and cursing and casting stones and throwing dust. And the king said that all who were with him arrived weary, and he refreshed himself. Then Absalom and all the men of the vampires entered Jerusalem with Ahithophel with them. Now it came about when Hushai, the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom, that Hushai said, Long live the king. And Absalom said, No, aren't you my dad's friend? And he's like, The kingdom is my friend. So I'll help you. You're the king. Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, What shall we do? What the fuck? Ahithophel said, Go into your father's concubines, whom he has left to keep this house. Then all the vampires will hear that you made yourself odious to your father. The hands of all who are with you will also be strengthened. And they gathered and pitched a tent for Absalom on the roof. And Absalom went into his father's concubines really loudly in front of everyone. Why? And the advice of Ahithophel, which he gave in those days, was if one inquired of the word of God. So was all the advice of Ahithophel regarded both by David and by Absalom. Dun, dun, dun. So, what is happening? Okay. I have to end right there because 17 and 18 are kind of long. And they come with songs. So I have to quit. Because 17 and 18 come with songs. Yeah. And I took my medicine. I took it too early yesterday. So I wasn't here because I took my medicine too early. There's a problem that I had. But I took my medicine pretty much on time today. So I'm going to go to bed at the regular time. Which means I got to stop right now. Yeah. And also, yeah, what do you guys think about this? What's happening with Absalom and David? No, nothing. Well, it is time to give the pillows some head and the sheets some ass. Thank you, Neil. Bone crushing hugs. And give the pillows some ass and the no. Give the pillows some head and the sheets some ass. And have the sweetest dreams ever. Love you guys so much. I'm trying to wait on a good night from Drunken Wizard. And if Ray's still here. Oh, and CNA. You didn't even like give me a Q&A. You didn't remind me of Q&A. See? No, nothing. Drunken Wizard just disappeared. Man, this wig is really hot. Nothing. Okay. Well, I guess I love you guys. Good night.